Hello everybody and welcome to my video today. I am back finally with some card content for you. My Crafty Mojo has finally come back and I am finally down in my space creating. I loved cleaning up my craft room and purging it and going through that whole thing. If you missed my ultimate craft room tour, I posted that on Friday. So now that things are all cleaned up, I am ready to get back to crafting. So here I have Stampin' Up's brand new in colors. I know I'm super late talking about these. I know everybody's already talked about them and probably purchased them when they launched in the annual catalog, but I am just now getting around to using them. So we have Copper Clay Wild Wheat, which is probably my favorite. Boho Blue, which there is a beautiful Boho Blue mini Stampin' Up cut emboss machine on the online exclusives if you missed that. Then we have Moody Mauve and Petaled Path, and I'm just showing you some of these color combos. The yellow and the blue go really well. The gray and yellow go really pretty together. This is a great color combo. I really love these colors. You don't always have to have them together. This one's probably my favorite right here. You don't always have to use these colors together, but it is fun to see how some of the colors go together. So I'm going to be using the ink. I have all 5 of the brand new ribbons. So I'm going to use those. We're going to make 5 cards and I'm going to feature each of the new colors. I have the writer markers and then the ink pads. We will also be using the cardstock, which I don't show. I have one of each cardstock. I will be using the pattern paper that coordinates. And all of these products will be listed in the description below, so you can check that out. And it will also be over on my website, and there will be a link for that blog post. So I'm going to pick one of these designs, and then I'm also going to use these enamel dots. So it all coordinates. It's all of these colors, and I want to make a set of cards featuring the colors. I am also going to be sending one of these cards out to each of the people who joined my paper party, which FYI, I have one paper party that did not get paid for. So if anybody's interested in snagging that, I am shipping this weekend. Just leave me a comment below or email me. So I'm going to take the cardstock here and I'm just folding it into an A2 size card. I did that with each of the colors. I'll show you all 5 of the colors at the end of the video, and they're all made exactly the same. So the next thing that I'm going to do is put a white panel in here for so you can write your message, or you can also even decorate stamp in the inside of the card. I always forget to do that. But when you do have dark cardstock like this, you want to add a panel so that you can write a message and then do a little decorating. I'm using liquid glue just because I don't have any tape runner on hand and I did not want to grab my ATG tape runner, so I just am using liquid glue. That's what I will use throughout this card unless I am using foam adhesive. So I'm gonna put that inside of the card, and then I actually think that I did on the other colors of the cards. I think on the inside I added that little strip, so that little heart strip right there, I added on the inside of the rest of them, and I forgot to do that on my yellow one. So here, all I've done is I've taken that one sheet of designer paper. You could use either side for this. And I've cut, so you can use whichever design that you like. I'm going to use the heart design first. So I cut that piece to 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to add some foam to that. And FYI, this foam used to be really inexpensive on Amazon. I used to get it for like $11. I was at the end of my roll and I went to order more of this and the price has increased to $18. I was shocked. It's not even like, oh, it increased by like $2. It increased by a lot. So FYI on that, if you get this foam that I usually get, I have not looked around to see if there's something more inexpensive. I just was like, whoa, that's expensive, and I didn't reorder it quite yet. So I'm going to add some foam to the back of this to pop this piece up. So this is just the first layer, and it's going to attach right to the card base. And then I will add the next piece. These cards are super simple. If you wanted to mass produce several cards, like I wanted to add one of these cards to each of the packages for my paper party, and so it was really easy to make a lot of these. And they turned out really pretty. I love this yellow color. I think it is gorgeous. So I'm going to add that, and I'm going to try to get that centered. It looks centered, but you know, I'm just going to do my best there. Then this strip here, I believe it is 2 inches. And then it's going to be 5.5. And on a couple of these cards, you're going to see that I missed one of the steps, and stay tuned to the end of this video to see the really big mess up I do, and I don't even realize it until I'm literally showing you the card, and I'm like, wait a minute, something's totally wrong with this card. So the next pieces I have are just some circle punches, that circle paper that I punched with my circle punches, and I have a yellow one, which is the color of that cardstock, and then I have a white one. We're gonna stamp this really cute stamp emboss cut machine. We're gonna stamp that on the white one, and then I have a stitched white circle we're gonna put a sentiment on. And as I mentioned before, on the online exclusives on StampinUp.com, you will see a mini boho blue mini cut emboss machine. It is beautiful. So if you have been wanting to pick that up, I'll link it in my description below. It's really beautiful. You should stop by the website and just look at it. I was looking yesterday and I just thought it was beautiful. So I'm going to stamp a couple hearts around that stamp emboss machine. Now my ink for the Wild Wheat is very, very juicy, and you can see that it blew out the stamped image a tiny bit. I should have stamped off first, but then I was afraid it would be too light. And then also the machine itself is made, the stamp itself is supposed to look watercolored, like it's supposed to have that kind of look to it. So I just left it. I wasn't too terribly worried about it. I'm going to layer my the sentiment over part of that, so I felt like it didn't need to be perfect. And I just want to remind you that your stamped images, and they don't have to be perfect. Like, this is not Hallmark. We're not looking for the perfect stamped image or the perfect, you know, lining up of everything on our cards. It's handmade and you're supposed to enjoy it. So don't sweat the small stuff. If it doesn't stamp perfect, if you mess up, it's totally fine. So one of the things I did on the other cards, a few of them, is I forgot the colored circle. So originally, like on this card, I wanted to back my stamped piece with a piece of the colored cardstock. And I believe on 3 of them, I forgot the colored cardstock. So that was the first mistake I made. So I think only 2 of them have the colored circle layering there. So there's that. And which is fine. It looks totally fine. But when I was looking at them all together, I was like, oh wow, I totally forgot a couple of those circles. And then here, I'm just cutting my foam. I have some non-stick scissors, which I should have been using on this, because you can see it's kind of a mess. Like, they're just sticking, and you have to be careful. I need to clean those scissors now, but you have to be careful when you're cleaning scissors that you don't cut yourself. So I wanted to pop up the sentiment, and so this card has a little bit of dimension because that first layer is popped up and then my sentiment is popped up, but that's totally okay. No worries. So I'll just remove the backing for that, and then again, I'm going to layer that sentiment right over our stamped image. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm totally thinking like, oh, I totally did the card, I'm all done. I'm going to add these enamel dots, and I have a little bit of a mishap with one of them, but I'm still like, oh, it's totally fine. These cards are beautiful. I love them. So I'm just going to sprinkle them around. You see me do this all of the time, and they're really sticky. So sometimes I feel like these enamel dots with Stampin' Up, you get them and they're not very sticky at all. Well, these are really sticky, and I found that out when I go to place this one down. I decide I don't like it and I try to move it, and it tears my paper, and I'm shocked because usually you can really move these and it's not a big deal. Not so much on this one. And then the sticky part wouldn't come off. It was kind of a mess. So I'm going to take my sand eraser and I'm going to clean that area up, and then I will use a different enamel dot, like I move them around. So I'll do that and you'll see this one's, I'm just really not liking it. So I'm just going to pull it up really carefully and then I'll fix that. And I can't decide. It's funny to watch it, me editing, like I just can't decide. And then the sticky part came off. It went everywhere. Like, so I'm just going to clean this piece up a little bit. That sand eraser is really great. I just get mine on Amazon. It will help take off, you know, little ink spots if you get them on there. And then this is where I realized like there's no adhesive. I'm like, I'm done with this one. I throw it away. So that is the card. So here I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, let me show you. They're so beautiful. I still don't realize what I did until in a minute I'll realize. So here's the cards. You can see like that moody mauve and the pebbled path. I don't have the colored circle on there. I forgot to add them. So I think this is where I realized, like I'm pulling it out and I'm like, what? I totally forgot the ribbon. And there's literally no, I was like, how can I do this? Like, can I lift that circle up? Nope, sure can't. So I forgot the ribbon. So that's okay. It happens. It happens. It's okay. So here are the cards. I hope that you enjoyed them. I would love for you to watch the next two videos I have here on the screen for you. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, making some cards. And I'm so happy my Crafty Mojo is back. So make sure you look for my next video on Thursday, which will be a Project Life Thursday. Have a great day, everyone.